Hello, and welcome to the Amazon Simple Email Service Deliverability Learning Series. My name is Ella. I'm a Senior Cloud Support Engineer at AWS. I help customers to understand the email deliverability best practices with a primary focus on inbox deliverability. Amazon SES is a cloud email service provider that can integrate into any application for bulk email sending. Senders from small startups to large enterprise accounts can use SES to reach their customers, but getting messages to the recipient's inbox over the long term can be tricky. Understanding deliverability best practices and what mailbox provider expect from bulk senders is the key to getting messages to a customer inbox. Today's topic is about the bulk sender requirements that were implemented by Google and Yahoo in February 2024. These requirements center around email best practices with a focus on domain authentication and alignment, spam complaint rates, and one-click unsubscribe functionality. While these standards and best practices have been recommended and in place for many years, Google and Yahoo are leading an effort to enforce these requirements at a wider scale. In this video, we will do a deep dive into the specifics that surround these bulk sender requirements and what impact they may have on Amazon SES customers. Our discussion of the bulk sender requirements will include the following topics. First, we will discuss a brief summary of the bulk sender requirements. Next, we will review the basics of domain authentication. Then, we will discuss the one-click unsubscribe mechanism, also known as easy unsubscribe. Lastly, we will discuss how to monitor spam complaints to stay within the spam complaint threshold. Let's start with the bulk sender requirements. The bulk sender requirements fall into three main topics. The first topic is domain authentication and alignment. The second topic is to provide an easy way for recipient to unsubscribe from bulk mail. This is also known as one-click unsubscribe and easy unsubscribe. The third is related to spam complaint rates, with a recommendation that you as a sender should keep the complaint rate below 0.1%. There are many factors that could result in your messages being classified as bulk by any mailbox provider. Volume over 5,000 messages per day is one factor, but the primary factor that mailbox provider use is in whether the recipient actually wants to receive that email. If you are not sure if your mail is considered bulk, monitor your spam complaint rates. If the complaint rates are high or growing, it's a sign that you should offer an easy way for recipients to unsubscribe. Domain authentication is the second topic discussed today in this video. Domain authentication consists of security protocols that verify a sender has permission to send from a specific IP address and domain names. These authentication security protocols include Sender Policy Framework or SPF, Domain Key Identified Mail or DKIM, and Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance or DMARC. SPF is an email validation standard that's designed to prevent email spoofing. Domain owners use SPF to tell email providers which servers are allowed to send email from their domains. The second protocol is DKIM. It's an email security standard designed to make sure that an email that claims to have come from a specific domain was indeed authorized by the owner of that domain. It uses public key cryptography to sign an email with a private key, so recipient servers can then use a public key published to a domain's DNS to verify that parts of that email have not been modified during the transit. The third protocol is DMARC. It's an email authentication protocol that uses SPF and DKIM to detect email spoofing and phishing. In order to comply with DMARC, messages must be authenticated through either SPF or DKIM, but ideally when both are used with DMARC, you will be ensuring the highest level of protection possible for your email sending. Mailbox providers will require domain-aligned authentication with DKIM and SPF, and they will be enforcing DMARC policies for the domain used in the from header of messages. For example, gmail.com will be publishing a quarantine DMARC policy, which means that unauthorized messages claiming to be from Gmail will be sent to junk folders. Amazon SES customers must adhere to the domain authentication requirements by doing the following. First, adopt domain identities. Amazon SES customers who currently rely primarily on email address identities will need to adopt verified domain identities to achieve better deliverability with mailbox providers. By using a verified domain identity with SES, your messages will have a domain-aligned DKIM signature. You should also configure a custom mail from domain to align your domain with SPF and further comply with sending best practices. Please see the links to the domain verification and custom mail from in the notes below this video. Support Easy Unsubscribe is our third topic today for bulk sender requirements. Bulk senders are expected to include a mechanism to unsubscribe by adding an easy-to-find link within the message. The February 2024 mailbox provider rules will require senders to additionally add one-click unsubscribe headers as defined by RFC 2369 and RFC 8058. These headers make it easier for the recipients to unsubscribe, which reduce the rate at which recipients will complain by marking multiple messages as spam. To clarify more on adding one-click unsubscribe headers to the message you send, Amazon SES customers sending bulk messages will need to implement an easy way for recipients to unsubscribe, which they can do using the SES subscription management feature or by adding the necessary email headers. Mailbox providers are requiring the large senders to give recipients the ability to unsubscribe from bulk email in one click using the one-click unsubscribe header. In situations where you have an active preference center, it's also accepted for the unsubscribe link in the message to direct the recipient to a landing page for the recipient to confirm their opt-out preferences. Gmail and Yahoo both clarify on their respective postmaster pages that the one-click unsubscribe requirement has been enforced in June 2024. The second step to adhering to the easy unsubscribe requirements are to make sure you are honoring unsubscribe requests within 2 days. This can be achieved by monitoring your unsubscribe mechanism and make sure you immediately remove the recipient's submitted unsubscribe request from your mailing list. SES has a subscription management feature that can help keep recipients on your mailing list by allowing them to opt into the topics they are interested in and remove themselves from mailing list on topics that they are not interested in. You will need to make sure you integrate the recipient opt-out preference with the source of your email sending list. As a general best practice related to mailing list hygiene, it's always good to review your email list building practices and make sure to ensure you are using responsible email practices by referring from purchasing email lists, safeguarding opt-in forms from bot abuse, verifying recipient preferences through confirmation messages, and abstaining from automatically enrolling recipients in categories that were not explicitly requested. Having good list hygiene by sending only to confirmed opt-in recipients is the best way to ensure that you don't have high spam complaint rates, which will keep your complaint as you adhere to the bulk sender requirements. The last requirement will be discussed in this video today is spam complaint monitoring and management. Mailbox providers will require that all senders to keep spam complaint rate below 0.3% to avoid having their email treated as spam by the mailbox providers. There is a couple of steps you need to follow as Amazon SES customer to meet the spam complaint rate requirement. First is to enroll with Google Postmaster tools to monitor the spam complaint rates for Gmail recipients. Gmail recommends spam complaint rates to stay below 0.1%. If you send to a mix of Gmail recipients and recipients on the other mailbox providers, the spam complaint rates reported by Gmail Postmaster tools are a good indicator of your spam complaint rates at mailbox providers who do not let you view their spam complaint metrics. Amazon SES recommends customers to monitor repetition metrics and stay below 0.1 complaint rate. Amazon SES offers a feature called Virtual Deliverability Manager, in which customers can monitor engagement and delivery performance across multiple mailbox providers. This includes bounce and complaint rates, along with key engagement and delivery metrics, which can be filtered by configuration set, domain identity, mailbox provider, or even down to the individual message level. To summarize, the bulk sender requirements introduced by mailbox providers, Gmail and Yahoo, are a major shift in direction by two of the largest mailbox providers in the world. Both are emphasizing domain-aligned authentication, keeping spam complaint under 0.1, and providing recipients with an easy unsubscribe option. The expectation is that many mailbox providers will begin to implement similar standards. Aligning with bulk sender requirements and implementing email deliverability best practices across your email program will provide you with a long-lasting communication mechanism to reach your users and customers. Amazon SES has published documentation and guidance related to the bulk sender requirements, including email best practice topics and a blog outlining the bulk sender requirements changes. These resources can be found in the summary of this video. This is the end of the Amazon SES email deliverability learning series focused on bulk sender requirements. If you have any comments, please post them in the comments section below.